Hello, 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 YouTube. How are you guys doing today? That's right, it's your girl, Ebony with Real Talk Therapy 101 coming through today on good old July 10th, 2025. And if you guys are following me on IG, you know I've been kind of pumping up a little bit more on Instagram than I have on YouTube. But I'm getting ready to get back to business as usual. And today is your girl's birthday. So today is my birthday. My custom made shirt is designed to that, and a very special introduction of a new bag to my collection as well as some shoes. So you already know who my plug is. And just want to come through and do a video wellness check on everybody, see how everybody's been doing, and kind of catch you guys up with me and where we're going to be going and the next phase as far as providing content and making sure I stay on top of everything when it comes to the channel. So y'all already know, always working. Usually I do not work on my birthday. However, this year it was an exception, so I took a little time, took a little break to make the video and come through and see how you guys have been doing. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Ebony Campbell, and I am a certified alcohol and drug counselor in the state of North Carolina. I am also a certified peer support specialist in the state of North Carolina. I am a master level qualified professional in behavioral and mental health. And I'm currently in school to get my master's in social work so that I can become a licensed clinical therapist to further my journey of helping others as they maneuver through their journeys. So, you know, mental health is a stigma, of course, in the African American community. A lot of us don't think we need therapy and don't think we need to talk to anybody and don't think that, you know, we're good and we can manage. But the reality of it is everybody needs somebody. And here on Real Talk Therapy YouTube channel, 101, what I do and what I love to do even in real life when I'm talking with people, I use anything relatable to talk about the spiritual, not the spiritual, but well, it could be spiritual, but the mental journeys, where we are in our mental journeys, where we are, where we're trying to go, how to look back on where we've been, how to get past those things and be able to move forward, how to manage in our day-to-day where we are now. And so I have started out with some rituals on the channel, one of which is my husband and I, we do make custom made t-shirts. And so whatever my topic is, I try to wear a t-shirt and that relates to the topic. However, today is my birthday. So the custom made t-shirt is for my birthday, and it says birthday mode turned on. Well, it doesn't have turn, but it just says birthday mode on, limited edition, 1978. Your girl is a Cancer in every aspect of what describes a Cancer. And remember, I told you guys as we get into our real talk conversations moving forward, this thing was gonna get real. You know, there's gonna be some conversations and some things that are real. I do use real life situations. I'm never gonna go into depth, you know, because I love y'all and I want to see y'all get where you're trying to go. But I'm not getting ready to disclose all my personal business either. I'm going to talk about some circumstances and situations that I have experienced. Some of the people watching this channel are going to be able to understand and relate because they were a part of it. And they may feel some kind of way. Well, guess what? Your girl has spent a majority of her life trying to make sure others shine and dim my light so that people around me can feel okay. And in doing that, I messed myself up. You know, my mental journey became one where I was stuck and I had to rely on my supports and my rocks and those people who are always there for me to help me maneuver through my water because I had allowed myself to get stuck trying to lift up other people. Those days are over. 47 years old today. On the rise of being able to do things a little differently, not being disrespectful to anybody, not being out here, you know, I don't do any of that stuff anyway, but speaking my mind and asking those questions that I wouldn't normally ask because I wouldn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable, but I'm no longer being uncomfortable for anybody else's comfort. Doesn't matter who they are. I can't manage that way. And they can't manage that way because they get a version of me that's not realistic. So why not start this thing off being more realistic? So true to form, like I said, we've gone over our t-shirt of the day. I'm gonna see if from here, before I sit down, if I can show y'all. So these are my new kicks. These are the birthday kicks. Anybody that's new, my husband is my plug. He buys all my tennis shoes, and I do have a slight addiction to Coach. I've been trying to get with them, still trying to link with them. So I do have bags and things to match. So my bag here, you guys have seen this bag before. This is my one of my fanny packs that's multicolored. It came out during a Pride collection. I really can't remember what year now, but I've had this for a little while, and I usually carry it when I'm in my multicolored zone. So during Cancer season, one of the things about my husband, you guys will hear me say a lot of different things about him, but one of the biggest things about him, he has no problem celebrating others, and definitely celebrating me. And I don't just get, bags and things and all this stuff on holidays or what have you, but when the man comes through, the man comes through. So this big old box behind me is one of my many gifts that I got from just my husband alone. And so want to share with you all the newest addition to the Coach family. I had to keep her in her box. I haven't named her yet. But Coach has vintage lines. And they came with a vintage backpack to match my fanny pack that I already had for a little while. And so I am so excited to break this girl out and to carry her on my birthday trip coming up really soon. But just wanted to share my Coach bag of the day. So we've seen our kicks, we've seen our bag. It's my birthday, so I'm kind of out of order with some stuff. But hey, we get ready to have our real conversation. Now, let me tell y'all something. This girl here, she can't join the others. She can't join the others in Coach land yet. Because this is, I don't know, y'all. I tell y'all, this addiction, it gets realer and realer and realer. So shout out to Mr. Campbell for always coming through, not only with just things that I like and ask for, but every gift, everything from him is very meaningful, and I am very appreciative. So now let's get ready to have our real talk conversation for today. So y'all see I'm back in my little nook, back in my little corner today. I didn't feel like breaking out that green screen and going through all of that good stuff for today's conversation. So gonna go ahead and dive right into it. So try to get a little light, and let's get into this thing. So even though it's my birthday, things have been going around, or not going around, but things have been going on in my life that normally and ordinarily in life, I kind of would give folks a pass and let folks, be with some of the stuff that they would do or say. But what I realized is that when I allow people to come for me and or come at me in ways that I know they can't handle, if I return the energy, has caused some folks to come completely out of pocket with some of the stuff that they do. And so, I am now in a place of, instead of worrying about if I say this, it might hurt their feelings, or if I respond this way, I don't want to make them feel bad because my skin is tough. I can handle it. But just because my skin is tough and I can handle it doesn't mean you get to throw darts and throw shots. It doesn't mean that it's okay for anybody to feel like that they can keep coming for me and coming at me, because I'm going to always consider their feelings first. Those days are over. And that's some real talk. And that's when it comes to work, home, school, play, wherever, social, whatever. The bigger person part of me has been beat down to the ground. And if there's anybody out there that can relate to that, It's time for us to stand up for ourselves. We constantly advocate for the little guy and spare everybody else's feelings, but who's going to come in and advocate for us and or spare our feelings? Who's going to hold back the wrath when it's time for us to be okay? And then we have to be able to recognize who those people are in our lives and in our corner. I spent the past couple of years tuning out a lot of people, whether it was family, so-called friends. I've quit jobs. I've moved on to different things. I've gone back to school. And what I noticed was when I shut off certain parts of my life, those people who intentionally wanted to make sure that I was okay did more than the bare minimum to make sure that I was okay. And not only that, cancers, we are some peculiar creatures. We really are. We don't like confrontation, but if confronted, we're going to bring it. We don't like arguments, but if you keep talking, we're going to shut you down. And, we go for the jugular. And I don't know if that's every cancer, but for the most part, the most ones I know, we try to stay on that even keel side or right in the middle. Because if you ever take us there, it's not even a 1,000 Richter scale. We go off the Richter scale and we tear stuff up. And a lot of times, we hate to do it to you, but there's no coming back to apologize and there's no remorse for it because you asked for it. Because if I'm giving you time after time after time, as Cyndi Lauper can say, time after time to get it right and back off, but you keep poking the bear comes out. And when the bear comes out, at least right here, when this beast comes out, it's no turning back. So I might as well go ahead and go all the way with it because, we ain't never got to speak again and I'm cool. And that goes for anybody. I can love you from afar. I can manage from afar. And if I still want to do something for you or look out for you, I can do that as well. But in this 2-year period, I learned who my anchors really were. Because these folks, so of course, some of my family people watching this may know where I'm getting ready to go with this, but I told them I was going there and I'm going to go. I got off of Facebook. Facebook was doing a lot. And I was really distracted with Facebook. I really was. The work was already demanding. Then I get on Facebook and your screen time, if you got an iPhone, it'll tell you how much time you spend on there. And I was so consumed with what everybody else had going on, almost to the point where I didn't pay enough attention to what I had going on and could have considerably lost a lot of important things in my life that I wasn't prepared to lose. But I also wasn't doing what I needed to do to keep them because I was engrossed in Facebook. So I actually got off of all social media outlets for a little while, and I didn't realize how much social media just does to our minds. Taking a break here and there, I've always heard people say that, and I never took a break. I got on there, I think in 2003, and just was on until 2023. And when I got off in 2023, I used to feel like, dang, I'm not going to be able to be in touch with my sorority sisters, my college friends, my high school friends, all these people. I can't even remember how many people I had. I might have had the max or whatever, but the reality of it is, let's just say I had 2,000 friends on Facebook. I have literally gone from 2,000 to maybe 2. And the reality of that is, those that knew how to get in touch with me outside of Facebook, either they did or they didn't. Or they got up with me when they wanted me to do something for them, or they needed me to give them a resource, or they needed me to, to help them with something. It was never just to check up on me. So, I started to realize who these folks were and who they weren't. And somewhere mid that, I think in 2024, I changed my cell phone number. And that really brought about a reality of who's trying to know what's going on with you and if you're okay, and who don't care nothing about you until they hear something in the street. So don't miss that. Pay attention to those folks who are checking for you when checking for you is not easy to do. So, using Facebook as an outlet, and about a month ago, I got a text from a young lady that I communicate with. I wouldn't say often, but I communicate with her. She was one of the ones that made the cut to get the new phone number. And it was a screenshot letting me know that someone else had posted on their board on Facebook. Has anybody seen or heard from Ebony Williams? Now, mind you, I haven't been a Williams since 2008. I got married in 2009. Has anybody heard from Ebony Williams? She was on my heart. Oh, no. Let me get it right. God laid her on my heart. Y'all. So anybody that, on this channel, I don't go into religion because everybody have their own spiritual belief, their own spiritual journey. But I do talk about my spiritual belief and my spiritual journey. And the person who put this post up, I do know that we believe in the same God. So if we believe in the same God and the God that we believe in put me on her heart, me who hadn't been on Facebook in 2 years, why would she post that on Facebook? Now, some of you may say, maybe she didn't know any other way to get in touch with you. And I kind of figured people would think that. Because remember, I'm round robin. I think everything through. As a Cancer, I'm an overthinker. I don't just come outside the box. I'm going to pick the box up and see what's under it. I'm going to climb on top of the box and see what's on top of it. I'm going to turn the box around because I need to make sure that when I go there, I'm validated in going there. So it took me a while, y'all, and I'm validated in going there. So I said to myself and to the individual who brought me this information, I said, this particular person had so many different ways to get in touch with me rather than put it on a Facebook post. And I have not been on Facebook in almost 3 years now. So this particular person not only knows where I live, they know where my in-laws live, my sister-in-law who lives practically in front of me. Their mother-in-law is a good friend of mine, and their mother-in-law has my new number. The new number, the one that works right now, if they call. So those were a couple of genuine ways that if the God that me and this person believe in and serve wanted to get up with me, they would have been able to get up with me. And if God laid them on my heart, surely God would have let her know I ain't been on Facebook in almost 3 years. So I digress because I started to get upset about the way this thing was put out there, and I started to have questions. And I wanted to reach out to this young lady. But in the moment, it wasn't time. And our God is going to create the avenue and the time. But even when I see her, I still need for her to understand that what you did was unorthodox. Because you could have sent somebody a direct message. I don't know who all this young lady is friends with right now because I'm not on Facebook. So you could be reaching out to an audience who has nothing to do with me, hadn't thought about me because I'm not on Facebook. Don't fool with me. None of that. But what you've done is created an avenue now for people to think that something is going on with me. Because, come on, guys. When you hear somebody say, oh, God laid me on your heart, the first thing you think is, dang, well, something must have been wrong. But in the times when I was struggling, when I was at my lowest, when I really needed somebody to check on me, and when I really needed for God to lay me on people's hearts so they could see about me, she ain't putting nothing on Facebook then. And again, I can't sit here and say what her relationship is with this God that we serve. I don't know how he reaches out and talks to her. But what I do know is when it came to me, you looking for me, I'm in the same place I've always been. I go to the same Walmart and shop when I go, the same grocery stores. My family live in the same area. So when I'm outside, I'm in the same places. I ain't went nowhere. Then, when I relayed this information to the person who gave me the message, lo and behold, later on in the day, I started getting messages from my family, loved ones like, hey, you okay? We seen this, or somebody sent them the screenshot, or somebody seen this. What's going on with you? And I am perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. No cares, no worries. Now this post has created this. And I don't know if somebody said something to her or what, but what I do know is the post miraculously no longer exists. Now, my screenshots do. And the person who sent me the screenshot, there was like 2 comments. And I was like, hey, girl, you know I'm nosy. Open up them 2 comments and send me that screenshot too. So I'm holding on to both of those things too. Because, a couple of people responded. And I'm waiting on the opportunity to see them in person as well to say, hey, you have to take to Facebook. My mom, the house I grew up in and lived in is still where it's at. My mama still lives in the same place. My mama be everywhere. Now, my mama be outside, for real. My mama be everywhere. Everybody see my mama. And if somebody sees my mama and they ask about me, my mama will tell me. This particular person's mother-in-law, when she noticed that I wasn't on Facebook, get this, not a month ago, but when she noticed that I wasn't on Facebook in 2024, the mother-in-law reached out to my sister-in-law by way of a direct message on Facebook to say, hey, is Ebony okay? And can you tell her I want to hear from her? And that's how I reached out to her, because that was real. It wasn't out there. It wasn't, put out there on a post. It wasn't on a wall. It wasn't pretentious. To me, you really wanted to know, hey, is she good? Is she good? Mother-in-law don't know how to get to my house. Mother-in-law didn't know where I was working at. Mother-in-law didn't know how to get up with me because I wasn't on social media and the number she had didn't work anymore. So she went to the next best thing, which was somebody who she knew would know how to get up with me. That was genuine. And I recognized it to be genuine. And what we all have to do, and what I'm encouraging you all to do, is to stop worrying about how somebody else feels when they do something that causes you discomfort. You don't have to be uncomfortable in order for other people to be okay. And you never have to dim your light in order for other people to shine. We were each given our own light and torch. Like today is my birthday, July 10th, 1978. And surely other people were born on this day, but I claim it as mine. It's my personal holiday because that's when my story began. What somebody else do with this day is on them. If it was left up to me, ain't nobody else born on July 10th, 1978. This is my day. This is mine. It's all about me being blessed to be a part of whatever I'm supposed to be a part of. It's about me being celebrated. It's about people showing up for me, if no other day throughout the year. Come through for me on my birthday. Because birthdays are a big deal, and I make a big deal out of my loved ones, my friends. I make a big deal out of their birthdays. It's a huge thing. It's a personal holiday. It speaks to the volumes of when life was breathed into you. So, with all of that being said, and y'all know I'm short. I ain't got time to talk. Plus, it's my birthday. I don't know what the day is getting ready to bring. I just know what it has done thus far. And I got my charm bracelet on. I don't know if I ever told you guys about this, but a couple of years ago, Campbell brought me a charm bracelet, and one of my first charms was a picture of me and my dad. And you guys know my dad is no longer with me, but my father never missed a birthday, no matter what he had going on. He was gonna celebrate his girl. And so one of my uncles passed away in 2021. So my next charm was the picture of me and my uncle Isaac, and then my Uncle Sean, who you guys have heard me talk about, that suffered with mental illness. I have a charm with him. And so I got my boys out with me today, wrapped around me, because I'm celebrating all of that. The good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the all arounds, all of that. Because it makes up my story. And I couldn't be happier in these moments. Have I gone through some shit? Yeah. Will I continue to go through some stuff? You live long enough, you will. Is everything always hunky-dory? And is everything always easy? No. But it's all about what you get up and maneuver and make yourself go through. It's up to you. You have all the tools and resources that you need to do to be able to do that. And so as I continue to celebrate my day, I wanted to just come on and thank you guys so much for continuing to support the channel. I see the views continuing to go up. I see you know, people continuing to subscribe. So please like, subscribe. And this is one that if y'all are some home people and y'all got Facebook, please share. Let the people know I'm out here. I ain't hard to find. I'm in the same place and I'm doing all right. And if they really want to know, you know, they can subscribe to the channel and start seeing me a little more frequently. So y'all have a good one. Be safe. Thank you so much again. And for all of you that have reached out individually and personally and said happy birthday, thank you. And please go follow me on Instagram and continue to follow the channel and have a good one. Bye now.